For the section B, we learn how to solve the polynomial functions with the degree 1, degree 2, degree 3, and degree 4. You already did degree 1 and 2. That means you learned how to solve linear equations and the quadratic equation. So for the degree 3, degree 4, I'm going to show you how to do it. If you want to do this, first thing, you have to know how to do synthetic division. So let's start with the synthetic division. When we do synthetic division, so the numerator is a polynomial function with a degree 3. And now I want to divide it by x plus 3. So first I need you bring down the coefficient of the numerator and put them in order. So this will be 1. And this number will be negative 2. And this number will be negative 21 and then negative 18. Okay, that's the first step. And then I need you to draw a box at the left side because you need to put one number you're trying to divide by. This number always be the opposite of the number from the denominator. So if you plus 3, that means you need to put a negative 3 here. So if you minus 3, you should put positive 3. And then after this step, bring the first number down. So the first number always stays the same. And draw a line above of this 1 and start to do multiplication. Negative 3 times by 1 is negative 3. So write down negative 3 here. And then do addition between these two numbers. And the negative 2 plus negative 3 is a negative 5. And then after this, you just repeat what you just did. And the negative 3 times negative 5, which is 15. And add these two numbers again, which give you negative 6. And then multiply this number again, which give you 18. And then we add these two numbers, which is a 0. And we call the last number is the remainder. And that's how we do synthetic division. And after you've done this, I'm show you how to write your answer. So this one will equal to your answer also will be coefficient of each term. And if the problem is x cubed, when you divide by 1x, so you should start with x squared. So the power is going to be reduced. So this number will be coefficient of the x squared. And next one, this number will be coefficient of the x. And this one will be the constant term. You will see the power also decreased. So the answer will be coefficient of the answer. And the power always be reduced 1 from the original problem. That's how we do synthetic division. And if the remainder is 0, actually we also can tell x plus 3 is a factor of this polynomial. And x squared minus 5x minus 6 also is a factor of this polynomial. And now, if I want to multiply by x plus 3 on both sides of the equation, I want to add the x plus 3 on both sides equation. So actually this part will be gone. And the other side will be x plus 3. See, you will see we change the polynomial to something multiplied by something. And then look at this term. We also can keep to factor this term like what we did last time. We factor negative 6. And then this will be 1 and 6. We need a negative 5. We need a negative 5. So 6 will be negative. Actually, we can rewrite this question to x plus 1, x minus 6. That's from the first term. And then keep bring down the last one, x plus 3. See, we rewrite this whole polynomial function with a degree 3 into a factor times another factor. And if we can set this whole thing equal to 0, so we're able to solve for x from each of the term. So from the first one, x equal to negative 1. From the second, x equal to 6. From last one, x equal to negative 6. That's how we solve the polynomial function with a degree 3. Okay, let's do one more synthetic division. Okay. For this one, first, we bring down the coefficient. So 1, but be careful this time. After x cubed, we should have x squared, but actually we don't. If we don't have any 1 terms, that means when we're missing any term, you just put a 0 as a coefficient. So we should have a 0 for x squared, and then negative 12 for x, negative 16 for a constant number, and then divide by 4 this time because we have a x minus 4. And bring the first number and start to do multiplication. So that would be 4. And add these two numbers, which is 4. And then multiply again, it's 16. And plus these two numbers, which will be 4. And then multiply 16, add 0. So we can rewrite this one to x squared plus, next number is 4, so it'll be 4x. And next number is 4 again, so it'll be plus 4. Okay, that's how we do the synthetic division. And the same thing, if I want to multiply this term on both sides again, so this is gone. And that means we have another x minus 4 on the other side. And we can continue factor this one. We factor 4 to 2 and 2. We add these 2, which is 4. So that means we can rewrite this to x plus 2, x plus 2, and bring down the x minus 4. So we factor this polynomial function with a degree 3 to x plus 2 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. If we set this equal to 0, we're also able to solve the x. From a first one, it's negative 2. Second one, also negative 2. So you don't have to write down this again. And the last one will be 4. That's how we solve this x. But look at these two problems. If we use a synthetic division to solve it, you have to know the first factor. You have to know what's the first number you used. Okay? So how we supposed to know it if question not telling you? That's why on your packet it show you called PQ test. This is on the page 6. On the page 6, the question show you how to find the first rational solutions. And then you're able to using that first rational solution to do synthetic division and to get a quadratic function and solve for x. And this test called P over Q. And what's a P? Okay, example. For this function, if that's a function is given and asks you to solve x, so the P is all the factors of the constant number 8. So when we factor this number 8, we will get a positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 4, and a positive negative 8. And then Q is all factors of the leading coefficient. And for this problem, leading coefficient is 1. So when you factor 1, so we're able to get a plus minus 1. And we're using P divided by Q. So each of the number from here divided by each number from here. So we're also able to get a plus minus 1, plus minus 2, 4, and 8. All those numbers, we call them possible solutions of this function. That means the first number will be one of those. How we know which one? You have to use the synthetic division to test. In general, we start from the smaller number. Okay, if we start with a positive 1, we're using 1 to do synthetic divisions, and then the remainder is a 6. That's not what we want. What we need a number. When you divide this number, make the remainder equal to 0. As long as the remainder equal to 0, this number will be one of your solution. This number will be the one you are looking for. So this one not working, so we have to try another one. So if I'm trying negative 1, by doing all those synthetic division, look at this. It's a 0. That means this is what we are looking for. So after we're using negative 1, we will have x squared minus 6x plus 8. That's what I have over here. And we can continue factor this one to x minus 2, x minus 4. So now you're able to rewrite your original polynomial function to 3 factors. That's the first one. That's the second one. Where did we get this one? That's the one you use to find the synthetic divisions. So if that's a negative 1, that means we need to do opposite. So it will be x plus 1. Always be x minus the number you used. So that's how we rewrite these polynomial functions to these 3 factors format. And after you have all the factors, you just set this equal to 0, and then you're able to solve all the x, negative 1, 2, and 4. But this way, kind of like more complicated, because if 1 doesn't work, negative 1 doesn't work, you have to keep trying 2, 4, even though 8, that's too much. Now I'm showing you another way, so it's really easy to find the first number. Okay, I'm going to go through all the practice questions we have done in class for the review test, and you can see how we work on those problems. So look at the first one. For these questions, we need to use a synthetic division to reduce this polynomial function from degree 3 to degree 2. Okay. We're using calculator. Okay. The way I'm showing you now is much more easier than keep try all those numbers what we have. So I need you to go to calculator. Okay, and go to y equal 2. Go to y equal 2. So I need you to type this whole function to here. So we have x power 3 minus 10x squared plus 19x plus 30. Okay, after you done this, I need you to go to table. So second graph. Then you're able to do the table. We are looking for, can you see? Okay. Yeah. We are looking for which x value makes the y value equal to 0. So let's go down. Okay, negative 1. When x equal to negative 1, y value equal to 0. Let's see, is there any other options we can have? When x is 5, y also equal to 0. X is 6, y also equal to 0. If you find a multiple, it doesn't matter which one you use to do the synthetic division. Okay, just pick one. So if I'm picking 6, okay, I'm using 6 to do my synthetic division. So that means I'm going to divide by 6. And then let's bring down the coefficient. 1, negative 2, 19, and 30. So bring down the first number 1, and multiply will be 6. And do addition, negative 4, multiply. Addition will be negative 5, and multiply again, 30, which is 0. And after we done this, we will have 1x squared minus 4x minus 5. That's a quadratic function what we have. Think about, can you continue factor this? Answer is yes. So we're able to continue factor this to 1 and negative 5. So it will be x plus 1 and x minus 5. Okay, so now I need you to write down all the factors we have for this polynomial. So that's what you need to write down for the complete factorization. So that's the 2 factors what we have. Bring down. We should have one more. And the other one is always come from here. So that's a number we use for synthetic division. So we're always using x subtract that number. So it'll be x subtract 6. So that's all the factors we have for this problem. And after you've done this step, let's solve it. We set this whole thing equal to 0. So we're able to find from here, x is -1. So that's one of the root. From here, which is 5, so that's the other one. And from here, which is 6, so that's a third one. We have 3 solutions for these polynomial functions. And then after you find the solutions, you need to classify what those numbers are. Look at all those numbers. They are rational numbers, right? So you just circle rational. And then they all real numbers. So just circle real. And that's it. That's how you work on this question. Okay, let's look at the number 2. Same thing. Bring down the coefficient. 3, -7, -22, and 8. We need to divide by something. Which number we need to divide by depend on the calculator. So let's go to y equal to again. And then let's type this whole functions. 3x cubed minus 7x squared minus 22x and plus 8. Go to table. Let's find out which x value make y value equal to 0. We have a -2 and a 4. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you use. So if I'm using -2, okay, let's do -2. So let's do -2. I'm highlight this. So bring down 3, multiply -6 plus -13, multiply +26, and the plus, that will be +4, and the multiply -8, plus will be 0. So that will be 3 numbers we need for answer. Will be 3x squared minus 13x and the plus 4. And then we can continue factor this one. 3 times 4 will be 12. And the factor 12 to 1 and the 12. We need a -13, so both of them need to be negative. And divide by 3x. Okay, now let's write down our answer. From the first one, which will be 3x minus 1. From second, we're able to simplify to -4 over x. So that's the one we need to bring down, x minus 4. And that's only 2 factors. We need 1 more. The other one will be always from here. So it will be x minus this number will change to +2. Okay, that's all the factors we have. After this, let's find the solution. From here, -2. From here, 1/3. From here is 4. Same thing. They are all rational numbers and real numbers. So that's it. That's how you do this problem. And if you want to check your answer, you just plug in each of these x back to the original functions, and your answer always have to be 0. If you're not able to get a 0, that means you did something wrong. Okay, look at the number 3. We are not always have 3 factors. So for this one, same thing. Let's find the first numbers to do synthetic division. Go to y equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 7x plus 2. And go to table. Okay. 2. Okay. X equal to 2. The y value equal to 0. Okay. So that's 2 is what we need to do. So divide by 2. Bring down number 1, 1, -7, and a 2. Okay. Same thing. This is a number we need to use later. Okay. Bring down 1. Multiply 2. Add 3. Multiply, add, multiply, and add. Okay, so we have x squared plus 3x minus 1. Look at this x squared is from here. 3x from here. Minus 1 is from here. Look at this one. There's no way to factor this one anymore. If you cannot factor anymore, just bring down. This will be one of the factor. And then the other one will be always from here, will be x minus 2. So that will be all the factors we have for this problem. And then when you're solving this, from this one, that's easy, just be 2. From this one, if you cannot factor, that means we need to use a quadratic formula. So it will be negative b. B is 3. So negative 3 plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac and all over 2a. Okay, let's simplify. So negative 3 and the 3 squared minus 4ac, which will be positive 13. And the 13 is not perfect square, so you just leave this and you keep the square root all over 2. So that will be the other two solutions. One is a plus, one is a minus. And we have 3 different solutions, and this time the classification will be different. So you cannot circle one thing for all of them. You have to do them individually. For the 2, it's irrational, real, but for these 2 numbers, they are not rational anymore. We have a square root. They are irrational, and then also real. That's what you're going to do for this. Okay, let's do another one. 4. Same thing. Let's do calculator and then find the first one. (3x cubed minus 5x squared minus 7x and then minus 15). Go to table. Okay, let's find. Okay, when x is 3, y is 0. Okay, let's do 3. So we divide by 3. And then bring down 3, negative 5, negative 7, negative 15. Okay, and I'm highlight this one to make sure you are not missing this term. And bring down 3, multiply 9, add 4, multiply, add, multiply, add. So we have 3x squared plus 4x plus 5. Okay, let's see. Are we able to factor this or not? 3 times 5 is 15. And we factor 15 trying to make 4. There's no way. There's no way to make a 4. That means this one also you cannot factor. If you cannot factor, bring down. And the other factors is always from the one I highlighted. It will be x minus 3. Okay, and let's solve it. From this one will be 3. From this one, quadratic formula. So negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 6 because 2a. And simplify this. So negative 4 plus or minus 4 times 3 times 5. It's a 60. 16 minus 60. It's a negative number. We cannot have a negative number inside. So you have to rewrite this to I outside. And then keep 44 inside. That will be the other two solutions. So you need to write down this here. Okay. And now let's see the classification. 3, still rational, real. These 2, as long as you have I, that's not real number anymore. Will be imaginary number. So you need to circle imaginary number. If you circle the imaginary number, you are not circle anything about rational and irrational because these 2 should be real. If it's not real, that means neither. Okay, so you only circle the imaginary. That's how we do this one. Okay, look at the other two problems. These two problems, if you realize, we are not start with the power 3. We start with the power 4. Okay, when we have a power 3, we use one synthetic division to solve it, because we can reduce from power 3 to power 2. Now, when we have a power 4, how are we able to reduce to 2? That means 2 synthetic divisions. Okay, so we follow exactly same thing just by using 2 synthetic divisions. So I'm showing you. First step, calculator. Okay, type this function, x power 4 plus 11 x power 3 plus 28x squared minus 36x minus 144. Okay, go to table. We have a negative 3, we have a positive 2. Okay, you need to know at least 2 of them. So we have a negative 3 and a positive 2. Okay, so negative 3, I write down here. And I have a positive 2, I write down here. So we need to do both of them. For the first one, bring down coefficient 1, 11, 28, negative 36, negative 144. The negative 3 and the 2, it doesn't matter which one you use first. Answer will be same. So if I'm using negative 3, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add, and multiply, and 0. Okay. For the second one, we are now using the original problems. We're using those numbers you find out from the first synthetic division. So let's bring down those numbers over. So be 1a, 4, negative 48. I'm going to highlight here, so make you pay attention. So those numbers are what you're going to use for next synthetic division. So we bring down the 1 again. Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, and add. So now we have x squared plus 10x plus 24. That's what we have from here. We can factor this one to 4 and 6. Okay, now let's write down our factors. First from here, x plus 4, x plus 6. So x plus 4, x plus 6. When the highest power is 4, that means we should have power 4 also. So x times x is a square. So we still need 2 more. Where the other 2 come from? First one, from here. So be x minus this number. That will change to plus 3. Next one, from here. So it will be x minus 2. That's all the factors what we have. Okay. And then you just solve it. From here, negative 4. From here, negative 6. Here, negative 3. Here, and 2. Those are all real numbers and rational, so you just circle this. Okay, let's do one more, and then I think you're able to solve this section now. For 6, same thing. Let's find the 2 synthetic division we need. Calculator. Okay. X power 4 minus 9x power 3 plus 29x squared minus 21x minus 16. And go to table. We have negative 1 and a positive 4. Okay. Negative 1, positive 4. Okay. Actually, if you know these 2, you should be able to know these 2 factors already. One is x plus 1. The other one is x minus 4. Okay. Let's figure out the other 2 later. Coefficient 1, negative 9, 29, negative 21, negative 60. Bring down 1, negative, plus, multiply. Am I doing right? 1. Yep. And 39, multiply, negative 39. And then 6, negative 60, and then 60, and then 0. Okay, same thing. We bring those number over to here. So 1, negative 10, 39, negative 60. Bring down 1, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Okay, so we will have x squared minus 6x plus 15. If I factor this to 3 and 5, or 1 and 15, there's no way to make a 6. That means you cannot factor this. If you cannot factor, just bring the whole thing down. It will be x squared minus 6x plus 15. So that's all the factorizations we have. And after that, let's solve it. First one, negative 1. Second, 4. Actually, these two numbers will be what two you use for synthetic division. And for the other two, from here, if it's not factorable, we need to use a quadratic formula. So negative b is changed to positive 6. Plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2a. And then simplify. 36 minus 4 times 15 is a 60. So 36 minus 60 will be 24, negative 24. We cannot have a negative number inside of the square root. So you have to put I outside and the 24 inside over 2. Okay, so that's the answer you have over here. And look at the first two. They are rational and real. And if they have I, that means they are imaginary. And that's it. Okay, that's what we learned for section B. I think you're able to do this one. I want you to finish the homework. What's the page? Let me see. Okay, I need you to finish the homework page from 18 to 20. 18 to 20. And the question number 6. And the question number 7. I want you to complete these two homework questions. And then I also post this practice quiz on It's Learning. If you want to look it over again, you can do so. And when you're ready, let me know when you're able to take this section B quiz. The other student just took this yesterday. Okay. And also, if you have any question, let me know. Send me email or whatever.